Welcome to The Explainer. So, forget about making one AI video at a time. Today, we are breaking down the entire blueprint for automating a YouTube channel, literally from start to finish, from cloning a winning formula all the way to producing polished videos in bulk.
So let's just dive right in. Have you ever wondered this? This is the one question that really separates the channels that scale from everyone else who's just struggling to keep up. And I'll tell you, the secret isn't about working harder, it's about building a smarter, automated system.
And just look at the difference here. A traditional workflow, you're looking at 5+ hours for a single video. But with an automated system, we can collapse that entire process into under 10 minutes. Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about AI-generated scripts, one-click bulk asset creation, and, maybe most importantly, perfectly consistent characters from one scene to the next. Okay, so we're going to walk through this whole blueprint in 4 phases. First, we'll clone a winning formula. Then we'll automate the script writing. After that, we'll generate all our visuals with basically one click. And finally, we'll polish everything to really maximize those views.
Let's get into phase 1. Look, before you even think about creating anything, the smartest thing you can do is find out what's already working. We're going to use a totally free Google AI tool. It's called Notebook LM to find a successful channel in your niche and just extract its entire playbook.
And this process is, well, it's incredibly efficient. So you find a channel you want to model, you install this free Chrome extension called Grab It, and then, and this is the cool part, you just hold down the Alt key and click, and it instantly copies the URLs of, say, 10 to 15 of their best videos. Then you just paste that entire list right into Notebook LM. This part alone saves a huge amount of tedious, boring work.
And this is where the real magic happens. You give Notebook LM a really simple prompt, and it just analyzes all of those video links you gave it. It goes way beyond just the titles. It deconstructs everything. The hooks, the script structure, the target audience, the tone. It literally hands you the channel's complete winning formula on a silver platter.
So now that we've decoded the secret formula, we can move into phase 2. And that's all about using that formula to generate a basically endless supply of new video ideas and full scripts. This is how you build a real content pipeline.
Now, you just feed that formula right back into the AI. With one more simple prompt, Notebook LM will generate a whole list of new video ideas for you, complete with titles and hooks, all perfectly aligned with the style that you know already works. These aren't just wild guesses. These are data-driven concepts that are built for success.
Okay, so this is a really crucial point. You have to shift your mindset from making videos one by one to producing them in parallel. By setting up a separate notebook inside the tool for each video idea, you can stay super organized and manage the production of a bunch of videos at once. This is the absolute key to scaling up. All right, let's move on to phase 3, because this is where the high-speed production really kicks into gear. We're going to take those scripts we just made and automatically turn them into all the visuals and audio we need for our videos. Okay, so first we have ChatGPT break our script down into individual scene descriptions. Now listen up, because here's the trick. You have to tell it to output only the image prompts with each one on a new line. Then you just copy and paste that whole list into a tool called Auto Whisk. It's designed to treat every single line as a separate command, so you can bulk generate all your images at once. Now, one of the biggest things that just screams low-quality AI video is character inconsistency. You know, where your main character looks like a totally different person in every other scene? It completely breaks the immersion, and honestly, it just looks unprofessional. But there's a remarkably simple fix for this. And here's the solution. Before you hit generate on all your scenes, you just upload a single reference image of your character. That's it. By giving it this guide, AutoWhisk makes sure your character stays perfectly consistent across every single image it creates. It completely maintains that story continuity. So for the voiceover, we're going to turn to another Google tool. You just paste your entire script into Gemini's text-to-audio studio. But what's really powerful here is you can add style instructions. You can ask for a specific storytelling tone or an energetic tone, whatever you want, and it makes the final audio sound natural and engaging, not like a robot. All right, we've got all our raw assets. Let's get into the final phase, which is all about adding that layer of cinematic polish and optimizing everything to really grab the YouTube algorithm's attention. So to make our videos truly engaging, we need to use this psychological principle called the pattern interrupt. In video terms, this just means using things like dynamic camera movements to constantly re-engage the viewer's brain and, well, keep them from getting bored and clicking away.
So how do we do that? Well, we give ChatGPT a sort of camera movement cheat sheet and ask it to assign a specific shot type for each scene. Then we take those prompts over to an animation tool like Grok, and it turns our still images into these dynamic shots, a dolly in here, a crane shot there, and it transforms a static slideshow into a really cinematic experience.
And that's why this last step is just so important. We're not just adding random motion for the sake of it. We are adding intentional, cinematic movements that actually bring the characters to life. This right here is what makes the final video look polished and professional, and not just like a collection of random AI images. And finally, no matter how amazing your video is, it needs a thumbnail that stops the scroll. This simple, high-contrast formula in Canva is incredibly effective. A simple character, a punchy 4 to 6 word headline in a bold font, and a bright red shape behind the text to make it impossible to ignore. Just ask yourself, would I stop for this? So really, the big takeaway from this entire explainer is this. The future of making content on platforms like YouTube, it isn't about outworking the competition anymore. It's about outthinking them by building these kinds of intelligent, repeatable systems that can produce high-quality stuff at a huge scale. And that brings us to a final, pretty thought-provoking question. You know, as these incredibly powerful automation tools become more accessible, and they allow pretty much anyone to clone a successful formula, what does originality even mean anymore? And where is the next real competitive advantage going to come from? That's definitely something to think about.